How do muscles grow? This is an important discussion to have because it's imperative for us to have a solid understanding of how muscles grow. Now we'll be able to guide our efforts more surely and certainly when we go to the gym so that we know you're doing the right things and get the right results. Now, by the way, before I begin, if you're new to this channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's begin right straight to the video. You have to combine resistance training and nutrition for muscle growth. But in this video today, I want to talk on the side of training in particular. Now, muscles grow as a response to adaptive resistance training. Any force that tries to stretch your muscle will automatically cause tension. This tension is what triggers muscle growth, or the tension you experience when you're training is called mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is the primary driver of muscle growth. What is mechanical tension? Mechanical tension is any force or any load that stretches your muscles. So for example, in weight training, when you lift weight, that weight stretches your muscles, and that stretching of muscles causes your muscles to grow. This resistance training is the primary stimulator of muscle growth. There's three-stage process that has to take place when you're training to induce muscle growth. Now, in discussing this video and understanding the three steps or three stages that takes place when you train, you'll have a better understanding on what you're going to do in the gym. Mechanical tension is the primary driver of muscle growth and is the first stimuli, it's the first concept you have to think when you go to the gym. How can I create more tension in the muscle I'm working on? Because more tension means more muscle growth. Now, there's a second process or stimuli that happens in your muscles when you train, when you go to the gym, and that is called metabolic stress. Metabolic stress is the accumulation of metabolites in the working muscles during fatigue exercise. In short, that burning sensation you feel when you're racing through your reps, that burning sensation you feel is what is called metabolic stress. Metabolic stress is important for muscle growth because of one thing. It signals your brain to produce more force to activate more muscles. And more muscle activated means more muscle tension. And more muscle tension, more muscle. Now there's a cycle here of muscle growth. More tension is equal to muscle growth. Now metabolic stress contribute to this fact because the more metabolites that accumulates in the working muscles, the more receptors in your signals that signal your body to produce more force to activate more muscles. So what is muscle damage? Muscle damage is microscopic in nature, which means when you train, there's tiny microscopic tears that happens in your muscle fibers. That tiny microscopic cut in your muscle fibers is what we call muscle damage. Muscle damage occurs when you're performing new workouts or you're performing workouts with heavy eccentric weight loading. What do I mean by heavy eccentric weight loading? Whenever lowering weight, for example, you are doing the bench press, you're performing the bench press. The lowering part of the movement during the bench press is what is called the eccentric. Now, when you perform heavy eccentric movements in your training, you'll often and mostly not experience muscle damage. Muscle damage usually occurs as a byproduct of the tension within a muscle. When you're lowering the weight, your muscles experience tension. So the tension you experience in your muscles during the lowering of the weight will result most likely in muscle damage. Muscle damage doesn't necessarily imply that you're experiencing growth. We'll take a look, for example, when you're injured in any of your muscle, in any part of your body, during the healing process, the replacement of that healing tissue won't grow bigger, it will just heal. So muscle damage should be as a byproduct of muscle tension. Now, we shouldn't avoid muscle damage all entirely when we train. However, it will happen automatically. What you have to keep in mind is what's the maximum mechanical tension and condition within this muscle I'm working on. And then, as a byproduct, muscle damage occurs. It used to be thought that Your muscles grow as a result of the replacement and healing of those tiny micro tears in your muscle. However, this doesn't happen to be the case in theory, because as you explained earlier, muscle damage is a byproduct of mechanical tension. We cannot isolate muscle damage by itself. Now, how can you utilize this knowledge in the weight room? There's two ways you can induce the most mechanical tension when you train. Number one, you can train close to failure. Number two, you can train with heavy weights. Training close to failure basically means, you see, when you're training and you're performing those last few extra reps that are very challenging, almost impossible to finish, those last few reps, that's what training to failure means. Now, when you train to failure and you're reaching those last few reps, what happens is there's more muscle fibers being activated. And we know when you activate more muscle fibers, you're going to cause more muscle tension, and more muscle tension is equals to muscle growth. Now, number two, heavy lifting or lifting heavy weights as well will induce the most mechanical tension. Why? Because naturally, lifting heavy weights demands your body to recruit the most muscle fibers to move that weight. The demanding nature of lifting heavy weight will induce more mechanical tension. And more mechanical tension, more muscle growth. The takeaway here is to induce the most mechanical tension in the muscles you're working on when you go to the gym. That should be your main focus when you go to the gym. And that's it, my guys. I hope you find value in this video. And if you do, again, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.